and thank you for taking the time to view this video presentation today. My name is Paul Brett. I'm a Senior Software Support Analyst supporting the HCL Link product. Today's topic is using the Apache Kafka adapter with HCL Link 1.1. So here we are at my machine. I'm going to show you at first in the command prompt that the IP address of this machine ends in .92. Okay, so that's very important. This is a Windows machine and the IP address ends in .92. Okay, I've started my Zookeeper instance and it's running here in a window, and I've started my Kafka server. There are many videos out on the internet that will show you how to install and run Kafka. That includes starting a Zookeeper instance first. But just suffice to say that I've got two batch files and they run in these windows and the service is up and running. Okay, so I'm going to start another couple of windows now just to show the Kafka service is running. I'm going to go and start a batch file I've got called start consumer, which is basically going to listen to Kafka for any topics that are published with the topic name of test. And then in another window I'm going to start my producer, which is just a DOS producer there that I can type any message into, and this is into the topic test, and it should appear in my consumer. So let's do that now. HCL from DOS. So I put hello from DOS, I press enter, and then hello from DOS ends up in my consumer window. So there you go. This just proves that Kafka server is currently working. Okay, so let's move on to HCL Link Design Server. As you can see, I have that open in a browser. I've gone to the IP address that ends with .9. This shows that this HCL Link Design Server is not running on this machine. It's actually running in a Docker on a remote Linux machine. I'm going to sign in to my design server right now, and as you can see there are no projects defined. If we have a quick look at the Swagger UI endpoints, for the same IP address, port 8081, I have the HIP REST API running, and I click refresh here. You will see that I have no endpoints defined currently. We'll come back to that later. Okay, so let's create a new project. I'm going to call this project Apache Kafka. Go into the project. First thing I'm going to need is a schema, so let's create one of those. I'm just going to need a generic schema that I can use, a text blob, so we'll create that straight away. Right click, add, and over here we'll call it text item. Make that an item, close, save, and then let's close the schema. That's all we need to do for that. And let's go on to create our first map. So our first map, I'm going to call this map producer. Brilliant. We have a map called producer, currently no input or output cards. Let's create an input card, a source. We'll call this in1. We'll click next. We'll say yes, we are going to use the command line. The adapter type is going to be echo. Actually, no, I'm going to turn off the command line and just leave it at using echo. That's fine. Next screen. Here we type in the data that we're going to echo into the source card. This is a message from HCL Link. Okay, I'm also going to turn on the REST input flag here, which we shall be using later, but not for this design server execution. From the schemas, I'm going to choose the schema that we created in the previous step and click OK. So now we have an input source card. Let's create an output target card. So let's call this out1, click next. Okay, this time I am going to use the command line. I am going to use the Apache Kafka adapter, and my command line is going to be, I'm going to cheat and copying from a notepad, save my typing. We have the flag -server pointing to an IP address that is my Kafka server, this Windows machine that I'm using here, and the correct port. The topic is test, and I've turned on verbose adapter tracing. Let's click on next. Success action create, that's good. Choose the schema, we're just going to have our text blob in here, and OK. So there we go. There is our map created. Currently has no rules in the map, so let's just drag input to output. OK, let's just make it do something interesting. Let's put uppercase around the in one. So it will convert my message to uppercase and send it to the test topic on the Kafka adapters on the Kafka server. So let's save this map. Map saved. Let's build the map. Map built successfully, and then before I click run, I'm just going to move my browser over to the left side of the window so that we can also see our consumer. And I'm going to hit the play button here to run the map, and in theory, yep, we get this is a message from HCL Link in capitals because of the uppercase function over on our consumer. So there we go, that's the Apache Kafka adapter running through the design server. Let's promote this over to the REST API and call that from the Swagger page and also from a command prompt. Okay, so the first thing to do is let's close this map. We don't need that at the moment. Let's go to the home and let's go into deploy. I'm going to create a new package now. Let's call this package 1. From the project Apache Kafka, I want to choose a map called producer. Let's click add. Okay, that's done. Let's click the tick box here and then say click on the rocket ship here to deploy this over to the server that I've already predefined, local REST API. So I hit the deploy button. It says deploying and then deployed successful. Okay, back to the Swagger page here for a moment. If you remember, this said no endpoints defined. If I refresh now, you will note that I do have an endpoint, 2 ways of running that one map, synchronously or asynchronously. So let's go into synchronously now and run this via the Swagger page. So let's click try it out. We're going to send in some text. Let's edit it. It's not going to be the word string. Let's put in hello from the REST API. Hello from the REST API. So you'll note that this is different from the compiled in setting of the map. So this is what we would be expecting to be seen in our Kafka consumer window. So I think that's ready to go. Let's just move that to one side again so we can see both windows, and we'll hit the execute button. And there we go. Hello from the REST API has appeared. I did say there was going to be another method of executing as well. We're going to use the curl command. I'm going to use it in my command prompt window. So let's just copy the appropriate curl command into my clipboard, start a new command prompt and paste that in. I'm going to change the message slightly to include and curl. Press enter and there we go, over on the consumer side. Hello from the REST API and curl. It's worth noting that this command prompt window can be run on any system that can do a REST API call. It does not need to have any HCL Link software installed, just need to be able to call the REST API via an HTTPS connection, an HTTP connection in this case. And you can leverage the power of an HCL Link map and all the adapters that come with it from pretty much any system. And this is obviously making the call over on the REST API. It's calling the map in the background, taking your data, putting it to the Apache Kafka topic, and it's producing it in the consumer window, as you can see here. So there we go, a quick demonstration of using the Apache Kafka adapter with HCL Link version 1.1.